Hello, this is Adam with Dream Productions. This video is made possible by the very kind donations of viewers like you. Thank you. If you are in a position to help this channel improve quality and grow, please visit my Patreon page at www.patreon.com/DreamMadeProductions, linked below.
It is the 31st century, and mankind is once again at war. The battlefields of the future are dominated by huge robotic war machines known as battlemechs.
By 3016, the Wolf's Dragoons had become something of a legend in the inner sphere. Appearing out of nowhere, the mercenaries had made a name for themselves in many ways. From their mysterious origins, their use of rare or even unheard of battlemechs, to their willingness, even eagerness, to work for any of the great houses. Within their organization, several subgroups gained reputation even beyond that of their parent organization. Zeta Battalion was one such subgroup, second in fame only to Natasha Karinsky's Black Widow Company. Zeta quickly became Jamie Wolf's problem solvers, ever eager to pit themselves against the most dug-in and determined foe. Wolf assigned the unit's commander the rank of colonel, despite such a rank normally commanding much larger forces. One reason for this was the turnover rate of Zeta commanding officers. In the unit's first 14 years, it saw 3 commanders killed in action. In return, the unit enjoyed many advantages. First, the unit employed much of the Dragoons' obscure technology. Mechs such as the Annihilator, Shogun, Imp, Hoplite, Firefly, Marauder II, among others rare or unknown to the rest of the universe, were common to Zeta lances. Between the intimidation of facing unknown mechs, as well as the fierce, nearly suicidal fighting style of the Zeta Battalion, caused some foes to surrender without firing a shot. In 3016, Colonel Mary Terrell's Zeta Battalion was in the employment of House Merrick. The Zetas would be tasked with a raid in force on the planet of Dixie. To join the mercenaries, the Free Worlds League sent along a battalion of the 1st Regulan Hussars, the Rippers Reavers. The two forces landed in and around the planet's capital city of New Wichita. Attacking military and infrastructure targets, the Dragoon techs and engineers began loading their overlord dropship with all the war materials they could seize. Local militia and planetary defense forces counterattacked from the city, attempting to prevent the raiders from loading their dropship. The Zetas deployed in a defensive line, easily pushing them back. The raid was going as planned until reports came in of forces approaching from the north. The 6th Donegal Guards had arrived and deployed a full Lyran assault company, supported by local units. Worse yet, they were quickly approaching the Dragoons' exposed flank. The Rippers Reavers moved to quickly engage the assault company in a no-holds-barred slug match, buying the Dragoons time to finish loading the valuable supplies. Despite their best attempts, the lightest lance in the assault company, Strike Lance, managed to bypass the Reavers and make it into the city. These heavy and assault mechs combined with the light militia forces threatened to roll up Zeta's defensive line. Colonel Terrell and her second-in-command, Major Samson Pollock, set out to personally reinforce the previously quiet north end of the Zeta line. The 2 command officers would join up with Corporal K and Air Defense Specialist Lieutenant Franklin in an attempt to push back the approaching Lyrans. Turn 1. The Locust runs north around the building. The Hatchet Man prototype runs ahead. Major Pollock runs his Annihilator around the building. Franklin's Rifleman joins the Annihilator. The Guillotine chases after the Locust. The Zeta Urban Mech runs ahead. The Firestarter passes the Hatchet Man. Colonel Terrell runs her Marauder 2 into firing position. The Grasshopper runs with the Guillotine and Locust. The Victor starts south. The Commando runs, joining the Hatchet Man and Firestarter. The Hunchback follows the others south. Mary Terrell opens up on the Firestarter with both PPCs and her large laser. The laser misses, but the PPC scores hits on the center torso and left arm. The Firestarter returns fire with his dual medium lasers, but misses. Turn 2. The Firestarter runs ahead and north. The Hatchet Man keeps running. The Annihilator runs forward. Colonel Terrell holds position, concentrating on her aim. The Grasshopper starts south, along with the Victor. The Commando moves north. The Zeta Urban Mech backs up. The Hunchback keeps running ahead. Lieutenant Franklin moves north to intercept the approaching lighter units. The Guillotine continues to run. The Locust races ahead, trying to get to the Dragoons. Terrell opens up on the Hunchback, one of her PPCs hitting the mech's left arm. The Urban Mech fires his AC-10 at the Locust. The heap rounds miss. The Firestarter fires on the Annihilator. One of his medium lasers scores a hit on the right torso. The Hatchet Man fires on the massive Annihilator with his autocannon and both medium lasers. One of the lasers hitting the Assault Mech's left torso. Major Pollock returns fire on the Hatchet Man with all 4 of his autocannons and a medium laser. Streams of autocannon rounds damaging the smaller mech's left leg and right arm. The Rifleman fires on the Locust with both AC-5s and dual medium lasers. The AC-5 rounds blowing through the left arm, destroying the SRM-2 there. The Locust returns fire with his remaining weapons. The laser misses, but one of the SRMs explode against the Rifleman's right arm. Turn 3. The Hunchback runs south. The Rifleman backs up. The Grasshopper runs south and ahead. The Victor runs ahead. The Firestarter runs around the building, getting behind the Dragoons. The Commando keeps running. The Hatchet Man mech warrior, stunned by the volume of fire hitting his mech, slips and crashes into the city streets, damaging his left torso and slamming his arm against the mech's controls, fracturing his arm. He stands, managing to continue south. Major Pollock and Colonel Terrell both back up. Corporal K also backs up. The Locust dashes south, getting behind Colonel Terrell's Marauder 2. The Guillotine keeps moving forward. The Firestarter again uses his medium lasers, this time on the Urban Mech, hitting the right and center torsos. The Hatchet Man mech warrior can't block out the pain, missing when he attacks the Annihilator. Terrell targets the odd Lyran mech. Her large laser misses, but her PPCs damage the right torso and blows off the left arm. The Urban Mech's AC-10 rips into the Firestarter's center torso. The Hunchback fires his medium lasers at the Annihilator, but misses. Major Pollock unleashes all 4 AC-10s and 2 medium lasers into the stricken Hatchet Man, blowing off the right arm and blasting into the center torso, damaging the engine and gyro. The Rifleman targets the Firestarter with his AC-5s and a large laser. The autocannon rounds damaging the left arm and the laser melting armor off the right leg. The Locust opens up on the rear of the Marauder 2, his laser hitting the left leg while a missile damages the rear armor of the center torso and left torsos. Turn 4. The Grasshopper runs up to the building. The Victor joins the Grasshopper. The Firestarter jumps south. The Commando runs, cornering the Dragoons. The Hatchet Man jumps back. Mary Terrell jumps, protecting her rear with the building. The Hunchback keeps running. Major Pollock backs his Annihilator around the corner, out of the Hunchback's sight. The Urban Mech backs up. The Locust bugs out, running back around the building. The Guillotine runs around, getting eyes on the Dragoons. The Rifleman runs, getting behind the Guillotine. Mary targets the approaching Guillotine with her PPC and large laser, but misjudges in her jump. Her PPCs miss, the laser hitting the mech's left leg. Major Pollock blasts the Firestarter with all 4 of his autocannons. Explosions bloom all over the mech, most finding the damaged center torso, blowing the mech in half. Corporal K fires on the Commando, his autocannon damaging the left leg, seizing up the mech's hip, his small laser damaging the left arm. He kicks out, destroying the mech's right leg. The Commando falls on his left arm, further damaging it. The Rifleman fires one of his autocannons and both medium lasers at the rear of the Guillotine, but fails to hit the torsos, instead damaging the right arm and leg. The Guillotine fires all of his lasers at Mary Terrell's Marauder 2, but fails to hit the landing mech. The Commando fires up at the Urban Mech with both SRM-6 racks, his medium laser, and a blast from his flamer. His medium laser hitting the Urby and the left torso, the rest of his weapons missing. Turn 5. The Grasshopper leaps over the building. Mary Terrell jumps her Marauder 2 south, joining in the melee against the Grasshopper. The Victor follows the Grasshopper over the building. The Commando Mech Warrior ejects. The Hatchet Man jumps back. Corporal K follows his commander and jumping south. The Rifleman takes cover between the skyscrapers. The Hunchback walks ahead, joining the big melee. The Locust runs after the Rifleman. The Guillotine jumps south. The Annihilator backs around the building, getting behind the Hunchback. The Grasshopper opens fire on the Annihilator with his large laser and 3 of his medium lasers. The large laser hitting the left arm, while the mediums damage the center torso and right arm. Mary Terrell fires her large laser at the landing Grasshopper, but misses. She swings out with both weapon pods. One punch misses, but the other damages the Grasshopper's right arm. The Rifleman fires a large laser and dual mediums at the Locust. The large laser damaging the right torso, while the mediums hit the center torso and left arm. He punches out with his other arm, but misses. The Locust replies with his medium laser and SRM-2, damaging the right torso and right leg. He kicks out, also hitting with right leg. The Victor and Hunchback open up on the Marauder 2 with their AC-20s and medium lasers, the Marauder disappearing in a palisade of heap rounds and laser fire. When the explosions clear, the assault mech tumbles, its center torso damaged, and its head reduced to less than ruins. Corporal K fires his AC-10 on the Grasshopper, but in his shock he misses. Enraged at his colonel's death, Major Pollock fires his full arsenal at the rear of the Hunchback. The Lyran Mech Warrior gets no time to celebrate, as the AC-10 rounds and lasers chew up his right arm, head, and rear left torso, the explosions finding his autocannon ammo bin, blowing his mech to pieces. The Guillotine fires on the Urban Mech with his quad medium lasers, blowing off the tiny mech's right arm and torso. Turn 6. Major Pollock holds position. Corporal K jumps away, retreating deeper into the city. The Guillotine walks into melee with the Annihilator. The Rifleman walks forward. The Locust backs south. The Grasshopper jumps back north. The victor walks into melee with the Annihilator. The Hatchet Man keeps withdrawing. The Locust fires on the Annihilator, his medium laser and SRM-2 hitting the assault mech's right and center torsos. Major Pollock switches his wrath to his commander's remaining killer. He fires all 4 of his autocannon rounds at the victor, blasting the mech's right leg, left torso, center torso, and nearly taking the mech's head off. He kicks out, hitting the guillotine's right leg. The Grasshopper targets the rifleman with his lasers, the large laser digging into the armor of the left leg, while a medium laser hits the right torso. He kicks out, hitting the right leg. The Guillotine Alpha strikes the Annihilator. The large laser misses, but medium lasers and SRMs pepper the mech. He kicks out, hitting the assault mech's left leg. The Victor mech warrior, injured but alive, also Alpha strikes the strange Zeta assault mech. The AC-20 rounds blowing out the AC-10 and the right torso, while his lasers and missiles also damage the side torsos. He kicks out, hitting the right leg. The rifleman replies by firing on the victor with his AC-5s, hitting the Lyran assault mech in the right leg and rear right torso. But the armor holds. Turn 7. The Grasshopper backs up. The Guillotine stays in the melee. The Locust runs behind the rifleman. The Hatchet Man safely withdraws. Major Pollock backs away from the Lyrans, trying to keep up his fire. The Victor mech warrior sees an opening and jumps behind the Annihilator. The rifleman holds position. The Guillotine again Alpha strikes the Annihilator, his lasers blowing out heat sinks and the right and left torsos, one laser finding the Annihilator's ammo bin. While almost empty, the large explosion is enough to blow out most of the remaining internal structure, triggering Major Pollock's ejection system. The rifleman flips arms, firing his large laser at the Locust behind him, but misses. The Grasshopper again fires on the rifleman with his lasers, his large laser damaging the right arm, while his medium lasers damage the right torso and left arm. The Locust replies with his medium laser and SRM-2. The laser misses, but a missile catches the rear right torso. He kicks out, hitting the left leg. Turn 8. The Grasshopper walks into melee with the rifleman. The Locust backs off. The Guillotine runs north. The Zeta rifleman flees deeper into the city. Aftermath. On Dixie, Zeta Battalion would lose their most recent commanding officer. Colonel Mary Terrell had carried on the aggressive, very possibly reckless tactics ingrained in the unit by her commander, Colonel Frank Wells. She would meet her end on Dixie when she failed to eject in time to avoid her mech taking salvos of AC-20 fire, some of the assault heap rounds finding her mech's head. Her sacrifice was not in vain. Mauled by the single lance of Dragoons, the Lyran lances fell back, giving the Dragoons time to reinforce their flank. Mary Terrell was not the only one to earn honor on Dixie. The Rippers Reavers, mostly medium mechs, ground the 6th Donegal Guards Assault Company to a halt. The Reavers threw themselves at the assault mechs in wave after wave of hit-and-run attacks, chipping away at the assault mechs until they were forced to withdraw. The grinding attrition of the wave attack saved the raid, but cost the Reavers half their number. Upon the Zeta's return, Jamie Wolfe would take 3 actions. After reading the after-action reports, he would praise the Rippers Reavers, liking their combat against the Lyrans to rolling thunder. The battalion would take pride in Wolfe's praise, Not long after, they would officially rename their unit from Ripper's Reavers to Rolling Thunder. Next, Colonel Wolf would promote the gravely injured but still living Simpson Pollock to Colonel and the new commander of Zeta Battalion. Simpson Pollock would command Zeta Battalion, deploying to Hesperus II in 3019. The events of Hesperus would indeed become their own legend, not being overshadowed until the events on Misery. Finally, Jamie Wolfe would inscribe Mary Terrell's name into the Dragoons' history, the Remembrance, submitting her name to be the basis of the Dragoons' Terrell honor name. At the time, these traditions of the Dragoons seemed odd, holding a combat trial for an individual to be granted a surname of a once great Wolf Dragoon hero, a ceremony very, very few in the Inner Sphere would understand until a few decades later. Hello, this is Adam with Dream Made Productions. Thank you for watching my content. It really means a lot that you have given me the chance to entertain you. If you would like to support the channel, please visit my Patreon at patreon.com/DreamMadeProductions, linked below. Also below is a link for PayPal, or links if you would like to send crypto, if that's more your thing. Please know any amount that you give will be cherished and used to upgrade equipment and improve the channel. You can also help the channel by subscribing, turning on notifications, liking, commenting, and sharing my channel with anyone you think might be interested. Thank you again for watching, and I hope you enjoy the battle reps that are to come.